Good evening, Comanche County. I'm Rashard Tortorello, your host of tonight's special episode. We're sitting down with women standing beside the men who want to lead this great state of Oklahoma. Joining me tonight as co-host and chair of the Comanche County GOP, Sharla Hildner. Welcome.
Thank you, Rashard. This is a conversation that I've been looking forward to. The women behind these campaigns don't always get a seat at the table, and tonight we're changing that.
Our guest tonight is a lifelong Oklahoman, born and raised in Norman, a University of Oklahoma graduate, and a former energy professional, a mother of three, and someone who turned one of the hardest moments of her life into a decade of service to her community. She's the wife of Chief Keating, who is running for governor of Oklahoma. Brittney Keating, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, thanks for being here tonight. Brittney, you're about as Oklahoma as it gets. Born in Norman, Norman North, class of 1998, OU degree in energy management. Tell our audience who you are and what shaped you into the woman standing beside Chip today.
Well, like you said, born and raised in Norman, didn't go very far for college. My family has a history in the oil and gas industry, and so my dad is a petroleum engineer, so was my grandfather. So energy management fit for me. I also worked for my dad downtown in college at his company, one of his companies he worked for, and then I don't know, I just always had a passion for that. And then Chip and I met in college, and we dated. And towards the end of college, I took a job in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I worked for EOG Resources as a landman for almost a little over 2 years, and then moved home and worked for Chesapeake Energy as a landman for 5 years. And Chip and I were married, and we started to have a family. Had our first baby in 2009. So after that, I became a stay-at-home mom.
Wow. So what do you and Chip tell your children about why Dad is doing this?
Well, we actually talked a lot about this. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. We talked for several months about this. Interestingly enough, our son is the same age that Chip was when his dad was running for governor. And so Chip knows, obviously, what this brings from the kid perspective. And, we just really prayed about it as a family and want to make sure our kids are talking openly and honestly with us. And, so far, so good. They're super excited and super supportive of him and very proud of him, as am I.
You were part of Norman's North and one of the very first graduating classes. There's something fitting about that being part of something brand new. And so, do you think that shaped how you approached your challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was really fun, actually. Our senior year, it was one team, one dream. We had one senior year of high school. We had one football team, and then we had, a pom team, a cheer team for both schools. So there's more poms and cheerleaders on the field than there were football players. But we had a really tight knit senior year for both schools, and it was a lot of fun. And I think, just kind of embracing the change that brings and kind of the unknown, the unexpected, and just kind of making the best of it, to be honest.
Absolutely. Now, you built a career as a landman at Chesapeake Energy before stepping back to raise your family. Oklahoma's energy industry is the backbone of the state. What did that career teach you about how Oklahoma works?
Well, I had the privilege to work for Aubrey McClendon, which, as most everyone thinks, is one of the titans of Oklahoma and for sure the oil and gas industry. So it was a lot of fun. He really, everyone was excited to go to work. Chip and I worked a lot. We got up super early and we stayed late. It was really fun to work with Chip. We did not drive together because he liked to listen to the radio and I liked to go in silence. so that we had to work through some things like that. But it was a really fun time to be in the oil and gas industry, especially in the state of Oklahoma. And, Aubrey just made it a really fun place to be, in the sense of like, you felt like you had a voice and you were heard. And even though we were young, we were all, young at the time, 25, 26, 27. So I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, at the time, Chesapeake did not offer part-time. So I had to make a difficult decision to be a full-time mom or a full-time worker. So that was actually very hard for me.
Well, Brittney, if you don't mind, I want to go somewhere personal, if that's all right.
Sure.
In 2013, you and Chip lost a son. And rather than step away from the world, you just leaned in and stepped right into it. NICU volunteering at the Mercy Foundation Board, Women Behavioral Health. What does that kind of strength? Where did you get it from?
Honestly, my faith has always been strong, but that definitely tested my faith. And it was hard. It's still hard to this day. I kind of just started off with contacting a friend, and I said, how do I get in to be a volunteer at Mercy? And I got to hold babies in the NICU. This was before COVID. And I really enjoyed it. For the moms and dads that have to go back to work, but they want somebody still there holding their babies. Right. It was a very special time for me to feel like I was giving back. And then, it kind of morphed into being on the foundation board, which was a great privilege. I served 2 terms there. And now I just sort of help in the bereavement side of the women's health. I want to just make sure these women know they're not alone, because, you can kind of feel like you are. And so making sure, like at the time back then in 2013, I don't think we talked a lot about that kind of thing. And as women now, I feel like we all are way more supportive over all kinds of behavioral health issues that we face, and wellness in general. Chip and I are very involved in the first responders, the foundation that we started for first responders. And that is all around wellness as well. So I'm just trying to make sure that people don't feel alone. And specifically in that time, it was for women, and it still is for me today.
All right. Now, you did serve 2 years on the Mercy Foundation board. Is that correct?
Yes, 2 terms.
2 terms. 2 terms.
I think it was 6 years total. 3, yes.
So what did that look like to you, that kind of work? Was it, did it bring you a lot of joy? Did you learn a lot when sitting on that board?
Yes, I believe so. I'm not really good at running galas and things like that that's just I'm more of a business person. So right. I got to see that side of things, which was actually helpful in learning how that works. But then you also see the financial side and how much money they give to different areas of the hospital in need. So yes, it was very informational for me, and also kind of put me in contact with people that I can reach out to in the community. It doesn't have to be through a title or a board member position, which is what Absolutely. I do today.
You mentioned the women's behavioral health, and I was really glad to hear that, because it's a topic that's not really discussed a whole lot in conservative circles. Why does that matter so much to you, that cause?
I think generationally, it's gotten, as I said, a little bit more talked about. When I lost our baby, it was hard for people to know what to say. And honestly, you don't know what to say in those situations. But I think just having a space, if the woman was to choose whatever's upsetting her or whatever she needs help with, to know where to go. And that's what's important with the Mercy, specifically the Mercy Women's Behavioral Unit and area, is that they're reaching rural communities for these women that may or may not have a place to go right here in Oklahoma City, but they can call in if they're having a rough day or if they need some support. That's kind of what I think is super important, because it's always going to hit you on the days when you just don't expect it, or maybe you can't get out of the house or things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
What did you believe that Oklahoma families need right now that they weren't getting. So, did you learn anything at Mercy, and can you bring any of that into the campaign, into like a public awareness about the biggest issue that families in Oklahoma are facing when it comes to mental health issues?
That's what I was going to say, mental health issues. I mean, think about it. Like if the mom isn't happy, and they always say, what's the saying? You're only as happy as your least happy kid. But I think that kind of goes for everybody in the family, right? So if you have a dad that's coming home stressed every day with work, I mean, the family feels that. And or you have a mom that's maybe, in depression, right? And so the kids feel that, the husband feels that. So again, I mean, I'm a huge advocate for mental wellness and therapists and just having space to be able to talk. Because I think once you speak and talk about some of these things, whether it's with some of your friends, whether it's a support group, you just can kind of get it out and you feel supported.
Well, it also allows other people to open up to as well to you. And it's a big problem. Some people keep a lot to themselves and they just don't have a venue to open up. And, I do a lot of veterans work, and the cornerstone of our practice is allowing them to speak freely and discuss things they normally wouldn't discuss with their spouses. And so I know where you're coming from. It's a very important thing, and it's an ongoing issue in Oklahoma, mental health, and it's not a negative thing. You say that, by the way, it's a positive thing. It depends on how we use it and how we take the information, but it's about making people better. But it starts by having that open conversation with no judgment. Brittney, there's a lot of people running. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said absolutely.
Okay. There are a lot of people running for governor of Oklahoma. It's a crowded field. What do you think? What do you want voters to know about Chip Keating that they cannot learn from, say, his campaign ad or his debate stage?
Good question. Chip is, I think the best way to describe Chip is what you see is what you get. And that's exactly how I am. So, he has always been somebody that, one of the most attractive things about him to me is he's adventurous. He is a go-getter. He sets his mind to something, he's going to get it done. So when he came to me with this idea that he was going to possibly think about running, and I've told this to people on the campaign trail, I mean, how do you look at somebody that you love and who is in it for the right reasons? He's passionate about public service, and he has really good ideas that I know he can execute on. I mean, how could I ever say no? So I love him and I support him. And I think, when you meet him in person, you will be pleasantly surprised at how personable and easy he is to talk to.
I have to say that's what I think I like the most about Chip Keating is that he is the only candidate really that took the time to call me and the Great Plains Republican Women president and sat down and had an hour and a half brunch with us. And I mean, it was rapid fire asking questions, and he was right on it, and that really showed how he cared. And from where I sit down in Comanche County in Southwest Oklahoma, there's a real feeling that state leadership doesn't always have us in mind. We're kind of in a unique place. We have the relationship with the military so close to us, and tribal governments so close to us. I think we have a few down here, and so what would a Keating administration mean for families way out here in Southwest Oklahoma? Because we're not Oklahoma City, we're not Tulsa, but in communities like Lawton.
Well, that was one of Chip's first things we talked about when he was thinking about running. He said, this isn't just Oklahoma City and Tulsa. I mean, I am going to be gone, and I want to be visiting everybody in the state. And to be honest with you, he's been working his tail off. He's gone all the time. He really wants to make those contacts. And he has been really focused on that, trying to really reach all areas of the state, not just the big cities.
That's it's an amazing answer. We got a couple comments coming through the Facebook. Gail Herbert out of Norman, Oklahoma. No, she says
Norman.
more.
Oh.
No, well, more Norman. It's the same thing practically, right? Yeah. So she says, "Hey, Sharla and Rashar, Jessica Bunch. The Bunch family loves you, Britt."
That's sweet. I love her. She is one of my dear friends, and she is married to a Oklahoma State trooper. Dear friends of ours.
I'll see if I can put the comments on the screen, but there's another comment that came in on my text, and they're interested in the marriage life with Chip. You mentioned you've been married for 20 years. You built a life. You raised a family. Gone through things that most people never have to face. What is the hardest part of watching the person you love step into a race like this?
Oh, well, I miss him. I'll be honest with you. He's gone a lot. So that's the hardest part. And that actually, I didn't really prepare myself for that part. It's kind of hit me in the last few weeks, but I really do miss him. We're a team. We do everything together. So that's hard, but I understand this is public service, and we're all five of us in our family understand that, and so we're willing to do it for the state as well.
Good.
Brittney, so I've asked this question to most potential first wives that we've interviewed. And so for Oklahomans who are maybe meeting you for the first time tonight, what can you tell us about you, and what would your initiative be as First Lady of Oklahoma?
Well, I am a pretty private person, but I am willing to stand behind what I believe. And right. Like we talked about earlier, I believe very strongly in mental wellness for everybody, men and women. And so I think I would just continue with what I'm doing now. And I would really push to make sure that everybody has an outlet in ways that they can be supported.
I think COVID kind of opened the doors in the conversation for that. I think it kind of we all let our guard down and started saying, hey, wait a minute. And those conversations, I think, are coming easier. So I'm really glad to hear that you're working toward that.
For sure.
We're going to do a quick rapid fire, kind of like I did to Chip that day at brunch. And okay. he was right. He was right on it. I was very impressed. So before we let you go, so short answers, whatever comes to mind, and I'll go first. And okay. Rajar, jump in. Okay, so one word to describe Oklahoma right now.
I'd say patriotic.
Oh, I love it.
How about one issue you wish more Oklahomans were talking about?
Mental wellness.
Right on.
I think they're talking about sorry. I don't know if you want me to expand or not, but
no, go explain.
I was just going to say, I think obviously we're talking about the big topics, right? Like education and tax reform and those things. But I always kind of stand in the back thinking, okay, we need to also not forget some of these other things that are very important, like mental wellness.
Right. So something most people don't know about Chip.
He falls asleep really early if he could, not on the campaign trail, obviously, but he falls asleep in his blue chair and he wakes up at like 4 a.m.
Oh.
I'm the night owl. He is the early bird.
Yeah, that's how it is in my family.
It's like this in my family. You know, so if Chip wins, what's the first thing you do on the inauguration night?
Take a deep breath. I think I would just give him a big hug and tell him I'm very, very proud of him. He's been working really hard.
And here's something that all Oklahomans want to know. When Chip came visit our county, I think it was back in January, I asked him, what's on your playlist? You brought up that he likes to listen to music going to work. And he said, I don't get to listen to music. I'm on the phone. So if we were to get in the car with Chip Keating, what would he be listening to on the radio?
Well, believe it or not, he'd probably be listening to Metallica like he used to in his trooper days. Or right he likes Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he likes almost everything country.
I get in the car with my husband and it's 1980s. I'm like, we've been there. Let's move on.
Well, the 80s
Yeah.
had the best music. I mean, like in the 90s too as well, but mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, best music ever, especially if you're a soldier and you're traveling, you're TDYing across the world. It's always nice to have the music. And everywhere we go, everyone agrees 80s were the best music ever. The best
I love
decade.
the 80s. Yes.
Yes. We all love the 80s, including you, Sharla. Brittney, where can our audience
Differently.
go to learn more about CHIP's campaign and how would they want to get involved? If they want to get involved, where do they go to volunteer?
Well, you can go to Keating2026.com, and that has all the information there, and you can fill out if you would like to volunteer. We are happy and totally willing, want you guys to come and help us. We just got yard signs going, and we have bumper stickers. We're super excited to start really getting out in the communities with those things. And then we'd love your support.
Well, thank you. And Brittney, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Your story is one that every Oklahoman should hear. And for those of you who are interested, Chip Keating will be with us on May 19th at the Country Club. And for those of you who are interested in our monthly meetings, we meet the third Tuesday of every month. Go to ComancheGOP.org to find out who is our guest this month and RSVP for that lunch. We want to see you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
We have one more comment. Hold on a second.
Okay.
You know this person, Faith Garver Campbell, one of my good friends.
Faith too. She is so wonderful.
Faith is so awesome. She says, Chip Keating for governor, ! Brittney will make a great first lady of Oklahoma, ! Brittney, thank you for your time tonight and sharing your heart with us. Oklahoma would be lucky to have you as our first lady. And to everyone watching and listening, share this episode. Follow the Comanche County GOP Podcast, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.